Hello, hi. This is for Alan.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
How was it coming back after a few years gap? And also, can you talk about a little bit about your character's development now? He is saving the day twice.
Well, in relation to coming back, I think one thing that we all felt after we finished the show was that we had such an amazing time over 6 years. Would we ever get the opportunity to do it again? And then when the opportunity arose, it was for me, it was an absolute no-brainer to get to work with basically what are my family again. So it was an absolute joy. And as Jim Carter said, the greatest thing is we all love each other, but we only have to be around each other for 12 weeks. So that was another bonus. But it was just wonderful to come back, and I'm so excited and proud of the movie that we've made. And I'm very grateful to Julian for giving me such an interesting storyline, and the fact that he has so much to do. As Hugh Bonneville rang me when he first read the script, and he said, "You've got more plots than an allotment." So it was nice that Branson got to help out the family, that he's had such a trying time throughout the series, figuring out where he belonged and whether he really was part of the family. And then I think the movie really solidifies the fact that he's made that choice, and he'll do whatever he can for the family.
Great, thank you.
Hi guys, I was just going to ask whether you could share your recollections of the first day of filming, because the downstairs cast said they got to do their first scene all together in the wine cellar, whereas I wonder if it was a bit more disparate and how it all felt.
Yeah, it was a bit more disparate, wasn't it? We all had different first days. My first day was actually with Jim, and so I was actually at Ealing Studio, so I wasn't at the castle. But it felt like we'd never left.
Yeah.
It was just, and of course there was this real buzz around it because we were making the movie, and it feels like such a privilege that we did the show for so long, and now suddenly we're filming the movie. Yeah. So there was a lot of excitement, but like we'd never been away.
Yeah.
It was funny.
My first scene was with you, which was sort of before we went down for dinner. So we were in the studio, and it had that initial nerves of going, oh gosh, we're back, and also it's a movie, and how is that different, and how will it feel different? But I think that probably lasted about 20 minutes, and then we relaxed again, because it feels like coming home. As cheesy as that sounds, it really felt like that.
And actually we kind of, I remember at one point Laura and I were sort of, like you say, in those first 20 minutes, it was like, we're doing a film, our faces are going to be much bigger. They're going to be huge. But we very quickly sort of went, no, we mustn't treat it any differently, actually. Because what's so wonderful about the film is it is an extension of the show, but just turned up a notch, of course, because it's a film. But for us, it was important that it didn't feel too different,
Alan, can I get Alan's?
Yeah, my first day was with Michelle and Hugh, and it was the breakfast scene when we find out the royal family are coming. And I was delighted because they make an amazing breakfast on set. And one thing myself and Hugh always suffer from is the fact that we actually eat the breakfast. And of course you do about 28 takes. So myself and Hugh were always like, are you going to finish that sausage? Or? Yeah. So I was delighted. That was my first day back. I was like, I forgot how good this breakfast was.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We've got some in the front row here. Thank you. If you could wait for the mic, sorry, it's just Will is kindly bringing it up for you. Thank you, Will.
So, Michelle and Laura, I wanted to ask, because this takes place in the 20s, but your characters developed, like, they're pretty modern. So how was, playing that, and also in the cast that the male characters are great, but there's so many great complex female characters as well.
Wow. So, how has that changed in the movie, do you mean?
Yeah. And the evolution of the characters and them being so modern, I think,
we're quite set. What's lovely about Edith and Mary in the film is that they're quite settled now.
Yeah.
They have found their men, and, they have, Mary has Caroline now, and Edith has moved on. There's a sort of, they've evolved, haven't they?
Yeah. But for Edith, her status has changed in between. the end of the series in the film. So on the first day, Gareth Neame, our executive producer, came and said, remember now, Laura, you outrank everyone. Now, this is new. But I think because they are so modern, Edith and Bertie, it's not like in the same way that, you know, you feel that way with Violet. You know, they try and they remain these sort of modern people who have had lives and a career in Edith's case. So, yeah, for Edith in the movie, it is kind of getting used to that new role. But it's fun that Edith and Mary they found a sort of ease with each other now. Yeah. They're not best buds, but they're not. It's not quite
at each other's throats as much as they used to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. You can pass it on to this over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would like to ask that, is there anything you would like to transport from the 20s, from the era of Downton Abbey movie, to nowadays? Some manners or outfits or, I don't know, absence of social media?
Yeah.
The breakfasts.
Breakfast. Yeah, the kedgeree. I love the cars.
Transport to nowadays?
I love the cars.
Yeah.
I'm always really excited to get in one of those old cars.
Yeah. I always think hats. It's a real shame that we've lost hats because, you know, our filming schedule was often built around, will the girls have to take their hat off in between that scene and that scene? That's a big change. So, yeah, we were always thinking about hats, and I think they really add something to the tone of your character and their outfit that day.
That's true.
I think especially with men, the way they dressed and the attention to detail is something that always fascinates me, and I loved preparing for those scenes. And obviously our costume team and Anna was so specific, but I really loved the attention to detail and the amount of care that went into the fashion and the style at the time. It's so beautiful.
And you had new formal wear, didn't you, this time?
I did. I
Snazzy
had new
trousers.
formal wear.
Shiny
Made
shoes.
especially.
Yes.
And has that changed the way you've dressed in real life in any ways? Have you ever taken any little influences, any of you?
I wish it had. I think maybe moments when you think, oh, should I wear this earring or that earring? Maybe. But generally, I'm very scruffy in my day-to-day.
Can't be true. Could you pass on to her? Thank you.
Hi, I was just wondering, a lot of loose ends are sort of tied up, but obviously, Laura, I was thinking about your character and the fact that she obviously shows some regret in the film about not working at the newspaper anymore. So do you think there is room for maybe another film, or what will happen next?
We would love that. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes down, but we had such a joyful time making it. And I think, yeah, as you say, in the tying up of some loose ends, new ones emerge. So I think that just shows how, you know, we really still found stuff to mine with these characters. So as ever, it comes down to Lord Fellows and whether he wants to do it and if the audience wants to see another.
Anyone else want to speak to that? No? Okay. Anyone else on this side got a question? We have the mic at the front here. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, this is for Michelle. Just wondering, without giving the specifics of that big scene with Maggie at the end, how did you leave that moment when you're creating such a magical scene where it's probably the most emotional one of the whole movie, and it is a huge moment for Maggie. Like, and so I wonder, how did you leave that, like having to face that moment with her?
Well, I think any scene with Maggie feels like a privilege and very special, even throughout the show. But that one in particular in the movie felt very, very special and emotional. You know, not just for the reasons that it is an emotional moment, but for, you know, just it just felt very, very special to play that scene with her. And yeah, I was very immersed in it at the time, and she's just, it's just a joy to work with her. And yeah, I can't, and I don't want to, you know, give away any more, but yeah, it was very special. A moment in my career and in my life, actually. Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Well, Sophie, thank you. Got the back over there, if we could pass it, thank you.
This is for Michelle. Lady Mary has a kind of career that, not kind totally, running their household of the big stately home. Did you actually had an experience going to talk to the ladies who actually run the big house? Also, a lot of stately home had come down because of the running cost. And what did you think about the state of stately home in Britain at the moment?
Well, it's a question. It's something that Mary questions in the film. Is, you know, how much longer can we go on? And, you know, will the servants stay? Will they want to remain at Downton? And so it's always, I think throughout the series as well, it was always a question about how much longer it can be maintained. What I love about Mary's journey is that in the beginning she kind of didn't, that responsibility she shunned. She didn't really want to be, you know, the person running the house, and now she's embraced it. And I like that about her, that she kind of is always sort of rolling her eyes about it, but actually deep down, it means so much to her.
And she's good at it.
Yeah,
Like, really good.
and gotten better at it, I think. In the beginning it was, you know, and of course she needed, you know, when she and Branson teamed up, you know, towards the end of the series, you know, she was learning. And I think what's lovely is that you see her kind of embracing it and, you know, really kind of being at the helm of it all, even though she's kind of half going, oh, should we bother?
Thank you. Yep, right in front of you, thank you.
I wonder how much, a question for all three of you, how much Julian impressed on you that this was like not a changing of the guard, but almost a passing of the baton. Because if we do think of a future film, we have a new love for you, Alan, we have a baby for you, Laura, and we have the house and responsibility for you, Michelle. So I wonder how much Julian impressed that upon you. More the passing of the baton than the second.
Yeah, more, I mean, I guess reading, you know, it was clear from the script, I guess, in some ways, and actually now seeing the film, there's certainly, it feels like, you know, like Laura was saying, there are some things that are tied up, and then, you know, some doors are left open.
I think it's interesting because these parts will, you know, we may never experience another character in our lives like these because we've sort of grown up with them. So when you are reading things about these characters, not only your own but other characters that you've known for so long, it does always feel really significant and like some huge change has happened for them. It all feels very naturally in you because it means so much to us all, I think. So I think that, you know, that when Julian's script arrives, that's it does feel like he's impressing a great deal on you in that way.
Yeah. I think one of the gifts that Julian has in his writing as well is he has so many different components going on, and it's only when you see the whole collective piece together, be it the TV show or then with the movie, that you then really get a sense that it is the changing of the guard and this house is continuing and moving and developing and developing into the modern world. And I really only got that sense, rather than he impressed it upon us, it was only when you saw the whole thing that you got that sense that the house is moving on and so are these people. Yeah.
Great, thank you. We have one in the front row here. Thank you. Cheers. Just over here. Thanks.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, of course, everybody loves, you know, it's beautiful to look at, it's well acted, well written. But if you think that maybe because with all the drama and conflict that the show had and the film has, also it shows like people are generous to each other, and in a world that's so divided, families are so divided, if that brings something, you know, to them.
Yeah, I think that is the gift of the show, really, and why it always feels like such a joyful escapism, is that all of the characters do feel really hopeful, and that even the baddies are trying, you know, why they are doing that. You understand their hurt and their pain, you know, and I think that is Julian's point of view, and what he enjoys showing in the sort of world of Downton is people who really are trying to do the right thing and just get by, really.
Yeah.
Well said, Laura.
Yeah.
Yes, nicely put. Thank you. Another one in the lady here. Thank you. Thank you very much for passing that.
Staunton Abbey is, of course, also British. So I wonder, what is the most British thing for you? I don't know, like afternoon tea or rain or humour?
Mine is a Sunday roast.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's good.
Yeah, and that's what I miss. If I'm working away from home, that's what I miss the most, is a good old Sunday roast in a pub.
Yeah. Oh, what do I think? Yeah, I think there's like a camp humour that I think Brits have that I think is in our movie and in our show. That is just sort of not taking ourselves too seriously while seeming like we are, if that makes sense.
I think, well, being Irish, obviously, so I live in Los Angeles now, and one thing I miss is talking about the weather incessantly. People tend not to do that in LA because, you know, it's just sunny. But I like the fact that you can have 19 conversations in one day about, oh, got a bit of rain. Wasn't expecting that. Should have brought, didn't bring a jacket. It's a bit nippy. So I miss that, yeah.
Great. I wanted to ask all of you how you felt about the scope of the movie and if it felt very different, particularly perhaps going on different locations and such, to filming the TV series.
I mean, it certainly felt on a grander scale, the film, but we had the luxury of a bit more time, which, you know, is always, it's wonderful to have just a little bit more time to find the scene and to prepare as well. I mean, for every department, you know, preparation is key, so having more time was really felt, actually. I think that was one of the biggest differences.
Yeah. We went to Yorkshire as well, which we never really got a chance to do in the series because of location. So that was really special. Harwood House.
Yeah, that was
Tell
amazing.
us more about that.
It's beautiful.
It's
I mean,
beautiful.
it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
I mean, Highclere is so impressive, but Harwood is just every single room.
Yeah.
We were completely blown away, weren't we?
That was really stunning. I think you're right, what Michelle said. It was the opportunity for us all to be more specific in every department, including like our own performances, because we had time and everything was just... Time gives you the opportunity to take a chance, maybe, that, and if it doesn't work, you're not under pressure then to go back and try and, you know, unpick whatever you've decided to do. So I think that was a lovely luxury that we had. I think it definitely comes across in the movie as well.
Thank you. Any other? Yes, if you can pass that down. Thank you.
Question for all of you. I wonder what you wish for your character to happen, if there is another movie.
I always want to see Edith writing more. So, happily a new sort of career for her. I think that would be cool, as well as what happens in the film.
I'd like to see Mary continue to be happy. So I think she's happy now, which is great. I don't know, sometimes I feel like she needs to get out a bit more. You know,
she needs to go out in the town.
Yeah, and there's something so great about, you know, the Thomas's storyline, and when you get to come out of the house and kind of see the life in Yorkshire and, I don't know, and even London, you know, to see her get out a little more or travel. Yeah, I don't know.
I'd like Branson, once Barrow tells him about his ordeal, that they come up and they realise there's definitely a market there, and they open the first Irish gay bar.
Yeah.
He does.
Mary will be on the dance floor.
Yeah, she'll be there. She's DJ. Mary's DJ.
Thank you. Thanks. Is there another question? Yes, at the back there. Thank you.
Hi, it's just a question about fashion, so it's mainly for Michelle and Laura, but if Alan wants to add something.
Do my best.
You had a new wardrobe for the movie. Do you have any favorite pieces, any dress that was really impressive to watch or to wear on?
I always love the day wear, because the evening dresses are stunning, and you always see a lot of them in the photos, but the stuff they wear in the day to have a casual afternoon tea is amazing. So my favourite was the day the King and Queen come for afternoon tea, and it was this, it's like a silk knit. So it's very 20s and very silky and smooth and red and gorgeous. Yeah.
I mean, all of the costumes, you know, are just stunning. And I think for the film, because like Alan was saying earlier, that attention to detail is, every single one is just, it was difficult to choose a favourite at the time, but actually now seeing the film, the Fortuny blue dress that I got to wear and that they made for the show, it was absolutely stunning. It was very funny because it's meant to do this kind of puddle on the ground, so it's meant to drop, and then it's the kind of puddle around your feet, and it looks fabulous when you're not moving, but then of course when you have to walk, I was sort of walking like Morticia Adams across the hall in that scene. But yeah, and Anna completely surpassed herself in the film. I mean, the costumes were stunning. And that dress you wore, Alan, was gorgeous.
Yes, it's actually the same dress. We just dressed it up differently.
Well, and everyone gets to see your calves, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have to say, we got to wear stockings for when the royal family and the ball, and Hugh Bonneville's got the most fantastic calves. If you get an opportunity, make sure he shows them to you. And there should have been a close-up in the movie. It was it's the one thing, the one regret of the movie is there isn't a close-up of Hugh's calves.
Pushing.
Yeah, just pushing on his calves. I don't know whether he does lifts, or if he doesn't work on them. I don't know, but they're a sight to behold.
You got to wear those shiny shoes with the bows.
Yeah, they were not fun.
Thank you. Any more final questions? Okay. Second row here, thank you. Thanks.
I have a question for all three of you. One of the main focuses in the movie is, of course, the royal family visits, the Downton Abbey. And I've heard that in real life the royal family is a fan of the Downton Abbey. So have you met any royals?
Yeah, yes.
And how did it go?
We got to meet Catherine. She came to the set. She came to visit Ealing. So that was, the day the princess came to Downton was really special.
And we met William, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We met Prince William, now the Duke of Cambridge.
Which one are they? Cambridge, yes.
Cambridge, yes.
See, we know our stuff.
We impressed them with our knowledge.
Yeah.
But no, they were very lovely.
Very nice, yeah.
Very nice to us.
Yeah.
Lovely. We had another question over here. Thank you. Just in the front, thanks.
There is anything that you took away from the set as a souvenir,
I love this question. We get asked this question so often. And every time I'm like, why didn't I?
Yeah, I know. I did in this series, I took a handbag, like a little purse. And I think...
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I didn't steal it. I asked Anna, because it was the last scene that we were shooting. And it was the scene where Edith and Bertie are at the Ritz. But it was like the last scene ever shot of the show. So, and we started filming at 1 a.m. and shot till 6 a.m. So it was a bit of a bananas day, and all of the crew were dressed as extras. And Anna, our designer, must have been delirious with exhaustion because she said, you can have it, when I said I liked it. I took that away.
My God, Laura.
I know.
And I love your reasoning as well. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, don't we all steal at that hour?
Yeah.
I wish I'd taken my wig, actually. I love that wig.
I love that wig too. I wore that wig one day.
You wore it once, didn't you?
It's on my Instagram if you want to see. The only thing I ever took was the little menu cards that we used to have that were actually written up every time we had a new meal. And I have one of them framed in my house. Yeah.
I would like, if I was able to request something, I would like one of those pots on the dining table. You have the salt and pepper pots and then these little mustard pots. Of course, everybody has one at their station. And we would play Wink Murder. And in one of those pots was all the little crosses, the papers with the crosses. And I think it was always the same, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They never changed it. So I kind of want that.
Well, if you really want it, talk to Laura. She'll probably sort it out.
She'll sort it out.
Put it in a new handbag.
Yeah, do me a favour, Laura.
Great. On that note, we will wrap up. Thank you so much. That was lots of fun. Thank you for.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey